Okay, I'm going to stand over here. So you should have a couple of documents here that you should be able to get D2L. One's called Vessel Anatomy, and that tells you all about the lab. And then there's Vessel ID for Blood Vessel Lab. That should be up there too.
So, Professor, did you just put these on?
I put those on last week, I think. You should be able to see them in the 204L site.
Okay, so what is it called again, please?
One's called Vessel Anatomy. Now, should we get what they're called? Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, so up in the we got Blood Vessel Lab, 3 Blood Vessel Anatomy and Blood Vessel Lab, two documents there. Okay, so what this lab is going to be on, for one, is the structure of blood vessels, the differences and similarities between arteries and veins, what an artery is, what a vein is, and give me a couple of models, and I'll take a picture of this. Well, I was going to take a picture. There's only 2 models. I was going to take a picture of these, and I have taken pictures on my phone, but I can't upload these. I'm going to put these photos of these models in a D2L site, but I can't get the pictures. I can't off my phone to my email. For some reason, it's not working. So
if you can just hold it up, I can take a picture and. Okay. Okay. Come over a little bit to your left. Right there's fine. So I just took a picture of it and I will send it to the email if you guys want it.
And this is the tunics. Remember, blood vessels are made up of 3 tunics. Tunica intima on the very inside. That's a simple squamous epithelium. And all blood vessels have the tunica intima. And then there's a tunica media, which is smooth muscle. And all blood vessels except for capillaries have a tunica media with smooth muscle. And some arteries have some elastic tissue in there too. And then there's the tunica externa, which is also called adventitia. That is connective tissue on the outside of the very outside of the blood vessels. Now, some of the differences between, now remember, arteries take blood away from the heart, veins bring blood to the heart. And the differences, so that's one difference. And the other difference is veins generally have a much smaller tunica media. They're weaker. They have a less smooth muscle, and there's much lower pressure in veins and arteries. And veins also have valves, particularly in leg veins, to help, because it's a very low pressure system. So we want to make sure that there's no backflow So there are valves in veins. And also, before like the 17th century, a guy named William Harvey figured out that that blood actually circulated through all vessels, because in a cadaver, the arteries are actually empty, they're just full of air, because after a person dies, all the blood flows into veins because they're weaker and they expand. And so they one time thought that arteries carried air and only veins carried blood. But of course, now we know both. Okay. Also on here, some capillaries. I can remember capillaries. I think of capillaries as the functional blood vessels, because what is the function of the cardiovascular system? To bring gases, to carry gases, to bring nutrients, waste products places. And so capillaries are leaky. I mean, they leak, and they're supposed to leak. Right? They're the only leaky vessels. And the rest of the cardiovascular system is really plumbing, but it's sophisticated plumbing, but it's plumbing. And there's all different levels of leakiness in capillaries. Okay. So so it could be a question on this figure, or on the tunics of blood vessels, and the similarities and differences between arteries and veins and capillaries. Okay, and then there's going to be some vessel ID. In the lab document, there's several pages of blood vessels, but I've condensed those into 20 blood vessels on here.
Okay.
And 7 of those will be chosen for the lab quiz next week.
Okay.
That you'll need to know them. And those numbers that are next to the names correspond to this model right here.
Oh, wait, can you hold that up? If I can take a picture. Oh, wait, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, you can take a picture, but you're not going to be able to see a number. So I'm going to have to,
Okay.
I've taken closer photos, because all of these blood vessels are numbered. And the numbers correspond to the numbers on the vessel ID for blood vessel lab. But I've added 3 numbers because there are 3 important blood vessels that weren't numbered on this thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the web and show you the arch of the aorta. So I'm going to share a screen here. Let me, hang on a second. Let me, Google. Okay, I'm going to screen share here. Okay, so you see on the right here is the aortic arch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 major blood vessels that come off the arch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's number 4 is the brachiocephalic artery. And off that brachiocephalic artery, there's 2 branches: the right subclavian artery to your right arm, and the right common carotid artery, which brings blood to your brain. Now, notice that on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, there is no brachiocephalic artery. There
Mm-mm.
isn't a left and a right brachiocephalic. There's only one brachiocephalic. On the left side, the left common carotid comes right off the arch, and the left subclavian comes right off the arch. So there's a kind of a violation of bilateral symmetry there.
So, Professor, when you look at the heart on any model, it only gives you the three. It never gives you that right subclavian artery. It just gives you the three basics. So you want us to know that fourth one.
The brachiocephalic, the left common carotid, and left subclavian come off the arch.
Okay.
And then off of the brachiocephalic, the right subclavian and right common carotid come off of the brachiocephalic.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be asking you anything about the chambers of the heart or the great vessels of the heart, because we've already done those. Right?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So then there's a whole bunch like pulmonary, hepatic, renal, so on and so forth. One interesting one is this is color coded on this model. The arteries are red, the veins are blue. One interesting small vein is number 61, the median cubital vein. But anybody's doing phlebotomy, that's the vein right in the middle of your elbow, where you get injections, and when they take blood, they go into the median cubital vein. That's the one that's always punctured. Other interesting one is number 69, the great saphenous vein. That brings blood back from your lower legs. A friend of mine just had triple bypass surgery, and that's the vein they use to bypass the blocked coronary blood vessels, because this is a vein, what's called anastomosis. There's a couple different ways for blood to get back from your legs. Mostly it's in the femoral vein, but it also comes in the great saphenous. Since there's two ways, you can cut that one up and use it to bypass heart blockages. Okay. You also have now in the blood vessel document, you also have pictures of all of these veins in the arms and the legs, in the trunk. They have a couple pages on major vessels in the brain and I don't have any models of that, so I'm not going to be asking any of the brain arteries or the brain sinuses.
What was the last thing that you said? I'm sorry.
Oh, there's in the blood vessel anatomy lab document, they have pictures of brain arteries and brain veins, but we don't have models of that, so I'm not going to be asking any of those.
Okay.
There's two circulations here that are mentioned in the lab that I do want to talk about, and that's the hepatic portal system and the fetal circulation. Okay, let me pull up the hepatic portal. What's a good one here? I guess this is good. Okay, so first of all, you gotta know what a portal system is. Normally, there's only one set of capillaries between the arterial side and the venous side. So arteries come down into arterioles, break up into capillaries. Then those capillaries coalesce into venules and veins, and they go back to the heart. One set of capillaries. A portal system is two sets of capillaries between the two sides of the heart. And there are three of them in the body. You've already encountered one last semester, the hypothalamic hypophyseal portal system. If you remember, there's capillaries in the hypothalamus where the releasing factor hormones are put in. They coalesce into in the hypophyseal portal vein. It goes to the anterior pituitary, breaks up into a second set of capillaries, and that's where the releasing factors come out and stimulate the secretion of trophic or stimulating hormones from the anterior pituitary. This hepatic portal system is another portal system, and we'll talk more about it actually when we get to the digestive system. Because what it is your intestines have a set of capillaries that are in these villi, and everything that you eat, that you digest, gets absorbed into these capillaries. And these capillaries form venules, and it becomes the hepatic portal vein, and it goes right to the liver. So all the food and nutrients that you absorb, except for fat, actually fat takes a scenic route via the lymphatic system and goes to adipocytes. So it doesn't go to the liver, but everything else does. And then when it gets to the liver is arranged in these lobules. And the hepatic portal, the branches of the hepatic portal vein send blood into liver capillaries called sinusoids. And then the hepatocytes take all these nutrients and decide what to do with them. They'll take all the glucose, the amino acids, the vitamins, whatever you've eaten, and the liver processes it. And then these sinusoids lead into what's called a central vein inside these lobules. And central veins coalesce into the hepatic vein. That hepatic vein merges with the inferior vena cava to bring blood back to the heart. So there's a hepatic portal vein, and there's a hepatic vein. Hepatic portal vein brings blood to the liver. Hepatic vein brings blood away from the liver. Okay, so everybody, now when we get to the renal system, we'll see the third portal system. There's a portal system in the kidneys as well. We'll get to that. Okay, then finally the fetal circulation. Let's see which is a good one. That was pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get bigger? That one's better. Does it show ductus venosus? Okay, so you got the umbilical arteries, you got the umbilical cord, and in the umbilical cord, umbilical arteries and umbilical veins. The blood comes from mom, from the placenta, via the umbilical vein. And the umbilical vein goes right through the liver, but doesn't deposit any blood there. This is called a ductus venosus. It's a bypass, a fetal bypass for the liver, because a fetus doesn't really need the process nutrients. Mom has already done that for the fetus. So you can bypass the liver, and the liver bypass is called a ductus venosus, over here. That merges with the inferior vena cava, which brings blood to the right atrium. Now, when you're a fetus, there's a opening called the foraminal valley between the right atrium and the left atrium. So blood can directly go from right atrium to left atrium. I could have asked that on the, and that's something I could ask on the heart quiz, because adults have a remnant called the fossa ovalis, because this thing closes, these bypasses are supposed to be closed just as you're born. And so we have a remnant of that. So that bypasses the lungs, because you don't have to bring, fetus isn't really using their lungs, so they don't have to bring that much blood to it. So remember, these organs aren't completely bypassed. Obviously, they need blood, but they're partially bypassed. And then blood is sent into the right ventricle, sent into the pulmonary trunk. But there's a second lung bypass called the ductus arteriosus, a connection between the pulmonary trunk, a direct connection between the pulmonary trunk and the aorta, so blood again can bypass the lungs. And that closes up, it becomes the ligamentum arteriosum in an adult. And that could be on the heart quiz also.
Well, can you re-say that?
Ligamentum arteriosum.
Ligament arterioso.
So look at it under the heart. Yeah, so those two are possible questions on the heart lab, the fossa ovalis and the ligamentum arteriosum. Now, remember, they're supposed to be closed at birth, but if they're not closed, that's a serious heart defect called, it's called a patent. If one of these doesn't close, it's called patent. So you can have a patent foraminal valley or patent ductus arteriosus. I think the patent ductus arteriosus has to be surgically closed immediately, because it's really dangerous if that remains open. And then the deoxygenated blood goes down to the iliac arteries and the pulmonary, the umbilical arteries are connected to the common iliacs, and they bring deoxygenated blood and blood with waste products in it out to the placenta for mom to take care of that stuff. Well, one interesting thing about fetal blood, when we get to the respiration chapter, we'll learn about the affinity of oxygen, of hemoglobin for oxygen. Well, maybe I'll talk about that. Yeah, I'll talk about that then. Yeah, not then. The fetal blood in the respiratory chapter.
Okay.
And I think that's it for the things you need to know for the blood vessel lab quiz. And so I'll open that up like next Tuesday.
Okay.
I'll open up at this time, and then go on from there.
Will you record these Zoom meetings so that we can go back to it?
Yeah, I am recording this. Let me make sure I'm recording it. So I guess I'd have to bring it and put it up in YouTube, I guess, right? I don't think I can.
Yeah, if you can put that on YouTube, that'll be great. So we can go back and look at everything that you said so we can study.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'll do that. I'll save it and I'll upload it to YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you. So
When
Dr.
will-
Murphy,
Yep.
tonight's quiz is, sorry, that's considered, tonight is able to be open book that's due by midnight?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the quiz, quiz 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's due by 11:55 tonight. And that's, you know, that's completely open resource. You can use
Okay.
anything to answer those questions. You
Thank
don't
the
need
Lord.
proctor track for that. Same thing with quiz 130, that's open now also.
Professor, when and for how long will exam 1 be open?
I'm gonna have it opened through the weekend.
Next weekend?
Yeah, this weekend coming up.
Okay. And it's going to be open for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or?
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get those pictures of these models up in D2L. I don't know why my phone's not doing this. You see a couple of videos up in YouTube also on the lymphatic system and immune system, because that's I've already started recording those lectures, and I'll record a couple more on Friday and put those up, because that's the next chapter we're going to is lymphatic system, which is a short chapter, and then immune system, which is a longer chapter and a frankly a difficult chapter.
Just take a breath.
But the immune system isn't, Professor, like you said, is anything really going to be as big as and grandiose as the last 3 chapters put together?
Yeah, let's see, most of the remaining exams will be on just one chapter. There's going to be a couple exceptions there. Lymphatic and immune are together, and lymphatic is really a small chapter, and then it's going to be with the immune, and then I think when it comes to like respiration, renal, it's only one chapter. Now digestion and nutrition, they'll probably be put together, and then reproduction will be put together a little bit with the last chapter on development. So it'll be a little bit of development and reproduction. So like I said, most of the remaining exams are really on, one system or one chapter. This is one system too, cardiovascular, but it's really a big system, with three big chapters.
Okay.
Dr. Murphy,
Yeah.
will we be getting any extra credit?
Thank you.
Extra credit on what?
No, like maybe at the end or something.
End
These grades.
of what?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe at some point you give us some project to work
No,
on
this
and say, hey, this is
semester.
just for extra credit.
Well, there's usually extra credit on, I have at least one extra credit question usually on the lab quizzes, although Hart doesn't have one.
Like, I think she means an extra credit assignment.
Oh,
That's
it's an
what,
assignment.
yes.
That's what I mean.
Well, I don't know.
We're taking consideration, Professor, our grades right now, so we may need it.
Like Joel, when Joel was saying him and I, it seems like we both, and Thelma, we spent so much time on blood that, because you don't want to get anything wrong, you know.
And we still got it wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Not, and also everything that like all of our other classes and on top of this, it's really stressful.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's so stressful. Like I feel like I'm dying.
Right.
Dying,
Put
I'm
that
just
to
glad
the
to
chat.
know we're all feeling it, and it's not just a couple of us.
honestly.
Oh no, yeah, this is a really unusual situation. No, I was thinking, I got something on Zoom I can do. I haven't tried yet. It's called polling. It's like asking you questions, and you guys answer the questions, and then we talk about what what the class thinks is the correct answer and what is the correct answer. And that would be really helpful to go over some stuff, but I don't know how to do that yet. I tried it once and it didn't work.
We
So
will try that.
I'm gonna
That
try
would
that.
be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that you be able to
Review
answer
question.
those questions, and you can make it to anonymously also. So I'm gonna try to learn how to do that, and maybe the next time we'll ask you some questions. And it's always good to answer some questions, that on a material that could be, obviously if I'm going to ask you a question, I think it's important material, and I may end up on a quiz or exam, so that's good.
Or extra credit.
Or well, I don't know how I can do the polling as extra credit.
So, Professor, did we agree that we're going to
Extra
one
credit.
attempt with the open book?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to make the exam open book.
Whoever gets the most questions right on Zoom gets extra credit points. I don't know.
Something.
Oh.
Well, there is an extra
If we
credit
all
question on the
participate, we should
exam.
get credit.
I think
Participatory.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, and somebody asked about
Points in this class.
Attendance bonus.
Yes,
Amen.
I know, Joel. I was thinking that too. Attendance.
well, I did have an attendance bonus when we actually met in class. There was my attendance awards.
What about the Zoom? We're here every time.
Yeah,
We
I
need
know.
a Zoom award.
Damn
That's
it.
true. I could write down actually who's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a Zoom award with an extra 20 points per person or something.
Oh, sounds nice.
That would keep a lot of people in class.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it would be fair. There's at least one student who has a on-campus lab every other week at this time, so she can't make it. So that's another reason why I should be recording it, because some people,
Oh.
because we didn't have a set lab
No.
time.
Recording.
For this,
Watches the
for this
recording.
section, we didn't have a set lab time, so I had to come up with something. I was free, so I picked 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. But for some people, that's not good. So,
Is the exam curved as well?
oh, if you read in the syllabus about the exams, if the mean falls below 70%, it's curved.
Okay.
But only in that limited situation.
I think the scariest part is you want to have a cushion so that if you don't do so well on an exam, you
Yeah, because they're worth 100 points.
yes.
And everything else is worth like 10 or 20 points. So it's just like, if you do bad on one exam, it doesn't really matter how good you
Right.
did on the like 10 other assignments.
Yeah, you're right. The exams are the biggest thing. The lab quizzes are 30 points. But
why we
remember, I throw out the lowest lab quiz. But I can't throw out the exam.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
So forget about this week's lab quiz and study for the exam.
The exam.
Well, you do have a lot of stuff coming together. You got the quiz 1:30, and on Friday you've got the heart lab quiz any on Sunday, and now you got the exam. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot. I know, but this is.
It feels
You
like a
guys,
lot.
we got this. We got this, you guys. We can
Yeah,
do
we
it.
got it.
Okay.
I
Good.
mean, for me right now, in my experience, and it's been like this a couple of different times, it's like if you don't focus on one thing, you're kind of sacrificing another.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand it from the very beginning. And if you don't, you can make one little mistake, you know?
Yeah, and then you get 10 questions wrong. It's so
Right.
Professor, I have a question.
Okay.
Our lectures, are they like, is there any way we can get on YouTube, or is there like you're doing a lecture and you put it on YouTube for us to look at, or we just reading the material and flying by the seat of our pants?
Don't. Have you been to YouTube?
I have.
Yeah,
I've been following somebody else.
You can listen to the like, and I think I think I'm getting better at making lectures, and they seem to me like I'm being more clear. I mean, the early ones were kind of rough because I didn't really know what I was doing, but now
Okay.
I've gone over the lymphatic and immune ones, and it seems. Well, let me know though. Let me know if I can.
All right, I'll get on YouTube and look. Yeah.
yeah. From when I went on there and heard your first few lectures, it sounded very hard to understand. But last semester, they were better. I guess because you did them in front of the microphone. I'm not sure. It'd be nice if you had like a SM58 right next to you or something. But
Well, these microphones that I hang right over my neck and a lanyard, and it's real close, and so I think it's pretty. The microphones are
I'm
pretty.
gonna look.
But I just have to make sure that I talk slowly and loudly. That's all.
okay. Yeah.
Do you have a range of page numbers that we should study for the test in the book?
No, just those 3 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been wanting page numbers for a while.
Yeah, because this book is so huge. It's just
Yeah.
It would really help.
Dr. Murphy.
Well, in the Zoom meetings I've met, I've in doing the group activities, I have mentioned some figures that are that are important. Like the like 761, the cardiovascular control system, control center. You gotta know the heart conduction pathway and the cardiovascular control center with the vasomotor center as well.
Murphy? Dr. Murphy?
Yes?
Can you hear me? Are you gonna be, I'm not trying to ask what's on it. I'm just trying to find out, are we gonna have to explain like the pathways, like exactly like step by step and all?
The pathway.
Say like blood flow through the heart,
Yeah,
you know?
you need to be able to trace blood through the heart. I mean, if I said blood is in the right ventricle, where's it going next?
Right, that's what I thought.
And where has it been? So
Right.
that you need to know that, and
Yeah.
and the whole cardiac cycle.
The I know it's somebody else's YouTube video. You should check out Crash Course. His video on the heart is really good for that.
Crash course?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a video talking about that. The flow of blood through the heart. It's really good.
Oh, that's good.
And entertaining.
Never heard of that.
Oh yeah, he's been doing that for years. It's really cool.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes he simples things down a bit much, but I found the heart one to be pretty good.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Hey, Professor, where can we find? I looked through these terms: preload, midload, afterload. I couldn't find them in.
Oh,
the
well,
book.
you're not gonna find mid-load. I made that one up.
Okay. Okay, I found afterload, yeah, but I didn't find preload.
Oh, you didn't. Well, let me look it up for you.
Okay. Midload.
It should be under the variables that influence stroke volume.
I'm sorry.
It's under the variables that influence stroke volume.
Okay.
Page 777. It's also known as venous return.
Oh, okay.
The preload is how much blood is being sent back to the heart, and it's also known as Frank Starling's law of the heart. Starling's law of the heart, because the
Is
more
that mentioned?
the more blood that comes back to the heart, the more the heart muscle is stretched. The more the heart muscle is stretched, the stronger the resulting contraction.
Okay, is that mentioned to Sterling's law?
Yeah, it's on page 777,
Okay.
lower right.
Okay, thank you.
So the more venous return, the more preload, the higher the stroke volume.
Okay.
Now, it's an inverse relationship with afterload. The higher the afterload, the smaller the stroke volume.
And is afterload mentioned there as well then?
Afterload is mentioned,
I thought it was mentioned a little bit later.
yeah, on the next page, as a matter of fact, the bottom of page 778.
Okay. Are any of the topics on the topics page, are any of them not in the book?
Uh,
Or like perhaps in like a lab sheet or anything not in the book?
no, I think they all, I can go take a look at them. I think they're on the book. Hang on a second. Let me download it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. We can look at it right here. There's the topics, first exam, and they're pretty much, all in the book.
Okay.
And Professor, when you say open book, is it just like the book itself or like notes that we take?
No,
Like
it's supposed to be just the open book, but then again, I can't control what's yeah, so it'd be the same as the open notes because I can't control what you have down. You're allowed now to look down at your desk, and there could be anything. You could have books or notes.
Like mine's is an ebook, so I'm going to have my laptop up next to my other laptop.
you
Right.
got the, hold on.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
Um, are these topics in like chronological order at all?
Actually,
In terms of
kind of, because the ones up on top are mostly blood, but not necessarily. I mean, hormones and effect on blood pressure is like the fifth one down, and that's more on the chapter on blood vessels and blood pressure regulation, and what
gotcha.
all those hormones do. But then there's life cycle erythrocytes and blood clotting. So it is sort of, and then there's a bunch of heart stuff after that, and then there's capillary hydrodynamics and things that raise blood pressure and so on and so forth down at the bottom. So it's kind of chronological order.
That helps. Thank you.
Lastly, Professor, from 203, that's the same book that we use for 204, right?
Yes, same book.
Okay. And is that like the third edition?
Yeah, I got the third edition, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 75 minutes. So if say about in the meeting, if anybody, unless anybody else has any questions or comments or anything going on.
No, I'm good for now.
Okay.
Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
If I have any further questions, can I just email you?
Oh, yeah. I can. Oh, I am fielding emails all the time now. I mean,
Professor, I
even
have
in
a
a normal
question.
semester, there's a lot of emails, but now there's even, and so I'm always, yeah, you can always email me.
When should we stop emailing you?
Right. I know, like me.
Right.
No, you can email me anytime. I even, even on the weekend, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, this has got to be a 24/7 thing, emails.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll